So last week, in an unprecedented move, 2 Washington state legislators and a state senator, all of them from the 35th Legislative District, along with the support of the local elected officials in Mason County, they've asked Washington State Attorney General in writing to investigate the fraud and corruption in Mason County Fire District number 12. Now, remember, we reported on this just a few weeks ago. However, AG Bob Ferguson is apparently unwilling to do this. His office refuses to investigate government fraud, apparently. It really isn't clear why. All we can do right now is speculate, so let's see if we can actually figure this out. Is it possible that Attorney General Bob Ferguson is just too busy with his campaign for Washington State Governor this year to bother with a government fraud investigation like this? Is he just too busy releasing violent sex predators into our communities next to playgrounds and bus stops, and that this investigation would just take up too much of his time for him to worry about kind of anything else? And that's a pretty high priority for him. Maybe Ferguson is too busy with his failed tuna chicken bribe checks, and he's just kind of trying to figure out other ways to divert these funds back to maybe support his campaign, either as contributions or votes, or maybe due to the incompetence of this program, he just doesn't have the bandwidth right now to handle this kind of a job. Is Ferguson just too busy right now suing businesses and his political opponents and really anyone that he doesn't like? And since that is such a long list of political revenge targets, he can't be bothered to address simple government fraud at all. I mean, seriously, fraud at a local government level is probably just so common that he can't be bothered to address it, and it would be like shoveling sand at the ocean. The tide just keeps bringing in more problems. At this point, Attorney General Bob Ferguson just can't be bothered to do his job if that job includes stopping fraud in government. And it is possible that he's sympathetic with fraudsters in government at the same time. I mean, maybe it'd feel too much like the pot calling the kettle black. He might just be more comfortable censoring his political enemies and attacking anyone who gets in the way of his kind of rapacious political quest for power. Regardless, I actually thought it was worthwhile for regular viewers of my channel to know that it looks like nobody from the state is coming to help the citizens who are being defrauded by their fire commissioners in Mason County. I'll keep you posted on this fiasco as it continues to unfold and as new information becomes available. But just remember, if it wasn't for the dedicated local people and voters in Mason County, this fraud would never have been exposed, and nobody would know in the first place. Their hard work, the recall election, the many other aspects of the story, and I've actually linked to my previous video on this one down below in the video description, none of us would actually know anything about it if it wasn't for their hard work. They showed up, and they have expanded their support from just a few citizens locally, even if Bob Ferguson refuses to help them. Those local people showed up, and in the end, it matters to everyone there and everyone around the state that they did, because in the end, the future always belongs to those who show up.